from 2, 3, 4. Wonderful, wonderful.
Hello guys, welcome to the channel The Nutmeg Show. This is me Rahul and I hope you all are well and safe. So here in this video I'll be looking into the Carlo Ancelotti's Everton, which has been flying quite high, and as we all know they are topping the charts in the Premier League, winning all their 4 fixtures. So I'll be dissecting the areas which Carlo Ancelotti have worked upon since his arrival and how far they have come as a whole unit. So while doing that, I'll also be comparing it with Marco Silva's Everton to get to know the actual difference between both these Everton sides. The Everton under the management of Marco Silva and also the Everton under the management of Carlo Ancelotti. So as we all know, Everton finished 12th last season with Marco Silva getting the sack in the midway point of the season after their horrendous 5-2 defeat in the Merseyside derby, which found themselves in the relegation zone. Everton, in the meanwhile, named Duncan Ferguson as their interim manager to buy some time out and find the replacement of Marco Silva. And what a replacement it has been. I mean, Carlo Ancelotti, Don Ancelotti, and he doesn't need any sorts of introduction of what he has achieved as a manager in the past. So currently Everton is sitting at the top spot of the table with 5 wins in 5 games in all competitions, the 4 in the Premier League and the 1 in the Carabao Cup against the West Ham United. So let's look into the major aspects that has helped Everton flying back again with Ancelotti's arrival. So majorly here there are 3 aspects on which I'll analyze the Everton's improvement. The first aspect being recruitment. So as far as recruitment is concerned, let's take a look at Marco Silva's Everton. So when Marco Silva was in charge of Everton, he spent around £100 million on the likes of Alex Iwobi, Moise Kean, Andre Gomes and Fabian Delph. Then there was the more long-standing issue of failing to adequately replace striker Romelu Lukaku, who joined Manchester United for £75 million back in 2017. Everton did try to replace him with Cenk Tosun and Richarlison for a combined £55 million, but neither have matched the Lukaku's goal return. Of course, I wouldn't say this failed recruitment isn't all Silva's fault, but given the qualities of cash that they spent to assemble this squad, they absolutely shouldn't have been in the bottom 3 at the very first place. So, getting onto Carlo Ancelotti's arrival. When he arrived, he had Fabian Delph, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Tom Davies and Morgan Schneiderlin in the midfield available at his disposal. But I think in my opinion, everyone failed to impress him. To add more to this, Idrissa Gueye to PSG and Andre Gomes left exposed after recovering from a serious ankle injury which we saw he received while playing against Tottenham and playing too many games at the end of the season. So Ancelotti immediately noticed his side's problem and he went about fixing them during this summer window, bringing in Allen from Napoli and Abdoulaye Doucouré from Watford. And the pair of Doucouré and Allen have formed a part of a new look midfield trio alongside Andre Gomes, giving the Blues a well-balanced side in the center of the pitch, who are capable of winning the ball back, getting up and down the pitch and picking the passes to the front 3 as well. So Allen here is a destroyer who breaks up the attack and keeps the possession. Doucouré brings bundles of energy and goes box to box, while Gomes now has to do less of the dirty work and has more scope to use his passing range and vision. Coming on to the third signing of Carlo Ancelotti, and that has been the biggest, I should say the most impactful, which has completely rejuvenized their midfield, and that signing was James Rodriguez. And when Everton moved to sign James Rodriguez earlier this month, some pundits questioned whether he had the desire or the ability to do it in the Premier League as well after we saw he had a frustrating season at Real Madrid. And his answer to the pundits and the one who were questioning his ability has been emphatic. He has been providing performances against Tottenham, West Brom, Crystal Palace and the Brighton, including goals, assists, a couple of pre-assists as well, which has left us fans wondering why no other clubs challenge for his signature. So as we all know, Rodriguez and Ancelotti came a long way. They have been working together in the past as well when they were both together at Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, and that was the main driving force behind his move to get him to the Goodison Park. So this were the signings aspect, and I have just heard that Everton has got their fourth signing this summer, and he is Ben Godfrey, and they got him from Watford. He is a centre back for around about 20 millions. So that is the latest addition which Ancelotti has made to his Everton side. Now let's move on to the second aspect, that is tactical approach, and according to me this is the most important one, and this is the sole reason why Everton is doing so good at the moment. So before going into Carlo Ancelotti's tactical approach, let's look into the tactical uncertainty which Everton was failing to get a grip under Marco Silva. So with Silva being a front foot manager, and everyone thought that Everton will be playing in a 4-3-3 system, but at that moment they lacked the personnels to turn them into a lethal attacking force, and instead Marco Silva played a typical in a more balanced formation, that is a 4-2-3-1 system, but they suffer for a lack of deadly striker leading the line. Even Marco Silva had Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who are doing so pretty well currently in the Marco Ancelotti's team, and to add more to this, even they had Cenk Tosun. But the sole reason was they were not in their topmost form. They were not firing at all. They were not scoring goals at that moment, and also looking at the back, they were quite a bit shaky after they failed to replace Kurt Zouma, whom they brought on loan from Chelsea, added more such miseries to the Marco Silva's tactics. On the contrary, Everton have been completely transformed from the team which we saw under Marco Silva, and the very first notable change has been the formation, with Ancelotti introducing his preferred hybrid tactics, that is a 4-4-2/4-3-3 system. So off the ball, it's a 4-4-2 formation, providing defensive solidity with wingers tucking in to form a solid compressed mid block and transitioning into a fluid 4-3-3 system when they get the possession back, or you can say when the possession is won. So Ancelotti, with his arrival, has instilled an assertive passing style of football that looks to dominate possession without it becoming stale. And at the heart of this are the centre backs, the Michael Keane's and the Yerry Mina's distribution. So they are suggested by Ancelotti that they have to take some risk in providing the long balls to the midfield or the forward players, and they have to play vertical passes between the lines. So this feature is complemented by more intelligent movement in the midfield to shuffle across into spaces in between the opponents. Coming on to Ancelotti's perfectly balanced midfield, with James Rodriguez's arrival, and he slotted straight into the first team, and he has been delivering exactly what was expected from him, quickly making the right side of the Everton's attacking front three his own, and basically allowing Ancelotti to use a 4-3-3 system with Andre Gomes, Allen and Abdoulaye Doucouré in the midfield. So this was the major difference between Marco Silva using a 4-2-3-1 balanced formation and Carlo Ancelotti's Everton, which he's using a hybrid system, that is a 4-4-2 and 4-4-3 system together. So the Colombian adds a magic touch to the attack and complements the pace, power and energy of Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin with exceptional vision and the technique to play passes which opponents simply don't see coming, and they are struggling against this Carlo Ancelotti's Everton side. So what Ancelotti wants to do here is he wants to play on the front foot, arriving quickly into the final third in numbers with Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. They both have an excellent partnership and complementary skill sets. So this has been the major factor, that is why we are looking into this Everton side and why they are performing so very well in the current season. So this is the third aspect where Everton has come a long way. As we have seen, managers inspiring their sides can do wonders, even if you don't possess the quality players in your squad. If the player believes in their manager and what are required from them, then they can look a completely different player off the field and on the field. So it was seen that Silva was unable to inspire the best out from his players. They certainly seem to lack a fighting spirit during his time at Everton. So under his management, the Toffees have fallen behind on numerous occasions, as we have seen, and they have gone on to ultimately suffer defeat in nearing all of them. Also, it doesn't say much for Silva's halftime talk that Everton have failed to score between the start of the second half, that is 46th minute and 60th minute in the league previous season, and it was evidently clear that Silva wasn't able to improve the team that was expensively assembled and he was struggling. On the contrary, with Carlo Ancelotti coming in, optimism is on another high at Goodison Park. After a perfect start to the first full season, Everton noticed a change which goes way beyond the results. There's a change in mentality, there's a change in attitude, and of course there's a change in the dressing room as well. There is definitely a change in the ambitions, and that reality has hit with a lot of players. The players have come in terms to Ancelotti's tactics and they are ready to deliver their all and of what is required from them. So you can see the same defensive line which used to leak goals under Marco Silva, they used to concede a lot of goals under Silva, has now the desire to be the best and have rightfully stepped up their game in this season and been solid at the back. There's also a clear sense of excitement around James because they have bought in a global superstar and we all know that. And Everton has also done their re-introspection over the summer of what they were lacking at that point. There's been an improvement and shift in mentality throughout the squad and they are not accepting anything less than a win. And to sum up my point, Ancelotti's impact has been subtle both psychologically and tactically as well. So Ancelotti has chosen to tread a bit lighter and making changes as he is trying to get his grips with the Everton squad. Players like Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Yerry Mina, Michael Keane, Luca Dean, who were definitely struggling to find their form under the management of Marco Silva, are now seem to be leading the way for Carlo Ancelotti's Everton. Of course, this is just the start of the season, but it feels like Everton are finally in a position to achieve something with Ancelotti as a manager. The trophies may have to wait for now, but Everton fans may just have one eye on Europe after such a perfect start to the season. They can, I think, grab the spots for the Europa League. So this is it for now, guys, on how Everton have achieved such a flying start to the season, and I hope you have liked the video, and if you did, then please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly share the video with your friends who loves football. And please don't forget to comment your thoughts on the analysis down in the comment section below. And if you like me to analyze something else as well, then please let me know. I'll definitely try to work on that. This is me, Rahul, signing off for now, and I'll meet you guys soon in for another video with more such analysis like these. So till then, stay protected, stay safe, cheers, bye.